Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of The Jimmy Dore Show. I'm joined by Ben Mankiewicz from Turner Classic Movies and from a lot of other stuff. You know Ben. Hi, Ben. How are you?
Jimmy, thanks for having me.
Should we do the Rachel Maddow reach? Let's do the... You know how she always leans over that table to... I don't know if you watch that show.
I watch in clips only, so I think the handshake's generally left out of the clips.
She always leans over that table like, why don't you just make that table 3 inches shorter so you don't have to... Hey, thanks for coming in, Johnson.
I like that big table, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in general, I like the big table.
All right. Okay. Right now we're going to talk about John Heilemann, and they were talking about, well, you know who John Heilemann is. He wrote that book, Game Change, with Mark Halperin, and I didn't read the book. I don't read books, but I saw the movie, and that movie, the Game Change, it described Sarah Palin as that irrational, crazy person, and then all the people who picked her were these great, nice people who were totally rational, right? If you read the book or saw the movie, did you do either?
I saw the movie.
Okay.
And I have a Mark Halperin problem.
Oh, what is your...
problem is that this is a guy who, like in describing his previous book, talked about how that everyone read the Drudge Report before deciding what to cover in mainstream Washington, and said it like, yeah, we read the Drudge Report before deciding what to cover. Like, what's the big deal? Like, he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Mark Halperin... and John Heilemann, big part of the problem. Big part of the problem.
Okay, all right. So I'm on board.
Keep that in mind. Game change aside.
Okay. All right. So here is John Heilemann pushing back against because Mitt Romney's going crazy, right? All of a sudden he was this right winger for 2 years, and then in the last 3 weeks he's become this moderate. He's aping Barack Obama's positions and everything he does, and so John Heilemann pushes back on this a little bit.
Joe, you're totally right. Candidates from both parties go to their extremes and then gradually drift back to the center over the course of campaigns.
Yeah, that's true if you mean one party. The Republican Party is doing that. The Democrats don't do that anymore. The Democrats don't go to the left during the primaries. Back in the 2008 primary, the closest thing you could, I mean, they're to the left of the extreme right wing of America, not even of the Democratic Party. So, I mean, the most lefty thing you could say about the Democrats in the 2008 primary was that every once in a while they all agreed that the environment was a thing. That was about as lefty as it got, right?
Yeah,
Ben?
this is a Democratic position on the environment. And oof, environment. Come on, let's protect it or something. Right.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. There hasn't been, the extreme left wing of the Democratic Party. That would be like raising the tax rates to over 40 and refunding Social Security to make sure that we don't have any benefit cuts for 100 years, and expanding Medicare and having a public option in health care. Those aren't even conversations that ever happen inside the Democratic Party.
Or that. So you're saying today that would be an extreme left winger. So we got to get Bob Dole back into the Democratic Party.
Exactly. We got to yeah, I mean, right. And those positions aren't even extreme, but we don't even make that argument.
Right.
Ever.
I say it all started with Bill Clinton's triangulation strategy. But let's get back to this John Heilemann clip. So here he goes on a little bit more.
Governor Romney it's really audacious what he's tried to do in this last month to make the switch this late.
Of hope, right?
The audacity of etch.
Of etch, okay.
We rightly criticize President Obama for not nailing him on that and being more aggressive and being more confrontational and trying to hold his feet to the fire in the first debate in Denver. That was a large part of his failing. He failed on multiple levels, but he really failed to do that. So it doesn't surprise me at all that in this debate he's now trying to make that argument and just sort of say, wait a second, this is, you can't just in the last month become a totally new Mitt Romney without somebody calling you on that. And so I guess the question for Chuck is...
Yeah, I guess the question for Chuck is, can you believe I'm busting Barack Obama's balls for not doing our job? That's exactly what he's doing. I mean, he's upset that the American people don't know about all this stuff about Mitt Romney because Barack Obama didn't tell them. Isn't that something? Wouldn't it be great if there was something called, I don't know, like a news organization that they invented that just reported back to people about facts of what candidates say? I don't know, like a journalist. Write this down, Ben.
No, I'm crunching. That's not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, like Barack Obama's supposed to be, it's Barack Obama with the New York Times. I just got a couple of questions for Governor Romney. No, like that's your job. And he didn't even mean to, but in that he crystallized everything that's wrong with political coverage in this country. That they only cover the horse race. And don't get me wrong, I love the horse race part.
Me too.
It's cool, it's interesting. But only will they attack Romney on something if Obama does it first, so that they can frame it in the Obama says this, but Romney says this, not just, hey man, that's a lie.
Yes.
That's a lie, and you were deliberately misinforming the American electorate, which it should be our job to keep as literate as possible. But Obama's got to say it first, otherwise, God forbid, Rush Limbaugh might say we're partisan.
Yeah, we can't report something unless the other political opponent says it first. I don't understand. So here's his actual question to Chuck Todd. Here's what John Heilemann actually asks him.
Chuck, do you think it's too late? I mean, is this a strategy that Mitt Romney can actually pull off?
Yes, of course he can pull it off. He's pulling it off. He's leading in the polls. He's doing it because you guys aren't doing your... Could he think he could do this? Not only are you not informing them, you're also on top of it a shitty detective.
I like it. I remember how hard it was for Woodward and Bernstein to start investigating Watergate until they waited for a Democrat to complain about it.
Yeah.
I want to go on this story, but no Democrat has told me that it's okay.
Yes, the Democrats haven't raised Deep Throat yet.
Yeah, right, totally, yeah. What's McGovern's problem? Tell me to do it!
Well, as soon as the Democrats get a hold of the Pentagon Papers and release them, then we'll start talking about it. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Okay, you have to know a little history to get some of these jokes. And here's Chuck Todd. Here's what he has to say back.
The problem for the Obama campaign is what happened in that first debate, and that what the point you just brought up, which is the president let him do it at the first debate, didn't call him on it.
Yeah, the president, this is what we're talking about. The president didn't call him on it. And as a newsman, when I see someone who wants to be the next president of the free world lying, I just cross my fingers and hope the other candidate calls him out, because as a newsman, I'm powerless to do anything about it.
Can't do it on my own, and I must sort of base my entire job performance on the performance of some other guy in a debate.
Yes.
Like if Obama had been a little more prepped, a little more ready, had decided to handle things differently, then I'd have a much harder 3 weeks. As it is now, I could pretty much take a vacation here 10 days before the election.
Yeah, I could have gotten a Pulitzer Prize for my reporting on that debate, except Barack Obama really did a shitty job.
Right. In addition to being a socialist, a Kenyan-born socialist, Barack Obama stole Chuck Todd's Pulitzer. Brutal.